Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Mikanko support revealed from Tactical Tri-Pack 2025. This is pretty exciting stuff, right? Mikanko has a really cool base to it. It's a very unique deck. Some people love it, some people don't love it. It definitely is a little bit of a divisive deck because it has some kind of cheesy win cons at times, but I think more often than not, people are a fan of this deck. It had some rogue potential a couple formats ago. It's since then definitely been phased out. Let's see if these three new cards can kind of phase it back into relevancy. And I think by the way this set seems to be described, there might also be more cards here that end up helping them as well. But these seem to be the three direct support cards that they're going to get in this new set. So let's start off with a brand new main deck monster. This is Sanaki, the Mikanko Devotee. This is an Earth Illusion, is a very interesting typing on this card. Level 3 monster, 0 attack, 0 defense, 3 hard once per turn effects. You can target one Mikanko card you control, return it to the hand. That's an interesting one for sure. It can target itself. It can target an equip. I think an equip is the main reason you would use this effect. Return an equip that's already been equipped to something back to the hand. That way you can re-equip it. And a lot of the cards in the deck, like when they are equipped with something, they will then trigger to get you more cards. So I think that's kind of the premise there. So that's cool. Second effect, if either player equips any equip card to this card, you can special summon one non-illusion Mikanko monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon from the X deck for the rest of this turn, except Mikanko monsters. That is a pretty good effect. A lot of the Mikankos have pretty good effects when they are equipped. One, I think, adds an. Wait, I'm trying to remember all what they do. One of them adds a trap, I think. One of them adds a spell, and I can't remember what the other one does, but locking you into Mikanko from the X-Trek is pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. Not that this deck really wants to do a ton in the X-Trek anyway. We have a new rank 3 below this card. Hopefully that card does a big job at kind of covering all that you would really want or need from the extra deck for a Mikanko deck, but there you go. And it is rest of the turn, to be fair as well. So if you did stuff prior to using this card from the extra deck, you would then be able to use this after and still be totally fine with getting locked. So cool, but still a pretty powerful effect nonetheless. I guess it's important to note it's not a one card starter on its own. You do need to get it equipped with something else, which is a little bit annoying. That's kind of another part of the Mikanko deck is they don't have a ton of one card combos. They have a lot of like 2 card combos, and this card still kind of plays into that. And thirdly, and lastly, for this card at least, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to it. So, yeah, that's another bonus. Like I said, most of the Mikanko monsters, when they are equipped with something, get some kind of effect to get them a plus. This does just make that even easier that this card can be a monster that wants to be equipped or a monster that is equipping to something else and kind of getting you dual utility there. It's a good card all in all for the deck. I don't know if it's like a 3 of or anything, but it's another card that allows this deck to push a little further. Put this monster on the field, summon another one that already is getting you to your rank 3 that we're going to look at. And hopefully this rank 3 is also really good as well. This deck does not have any extra deck monsters whatsoever until this point. So this would be the first one. Let's see how it goes. It's a pretty good first card, though, I think, all things considered. It's an illusion, so I guess it's also worth noting there's the one monster that, like, when it's you can pitch a card from hand to special summon it, and when it's summoned, it can search any illusion monster. So now this is that becomes a searchable way to get this card if you want it, but just something to note. All right, let's take a look at our new rank 3. This is Uzuhime, the Manifested Mikanko. It's a fairy Exceed monster, rank 3. Oh, one other thing to mention with this card does not have the staple classic effect of other Mikankos where, like, if they battle, your opponent takes the damage, yada, 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 all that extra stuff. Just something interesting to note. Anyway, Uzuhime, fairy, rank 3, 0/0. It does require 2 level 3 Mikankos. That's a little bit of a downer as well. When I saw this card at first, I was like, tell me this card can take any 2 level 3s, then Takatomborg, another just level 3 engines could become very interesting in this deck. They don't. This is not really necessarily using those because it takes 2 Mikankos, but hopefully it's still good. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you could add 1 equip spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Wow. Any equip spell is quite good. That already probably makes this card worth. You're at least going to play it off of this effect alone. Not even considering like what the rest of the effects are. That's really good. I mean, that can get you going. Second stuff like Snatch Steal, that can get you going. First stuff to keep extending, like the Arabesque and stuff, which is really nice. This is a nice card that allows us to push, right? You summon Omikanko, you equip them to it, you try to search or whatever, it gets negated. If you're able to summon another one, you can then just get into this, right? So as long as we can just keep extending into more, we can get into this and then keep going from there. That's really good. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from this card. That's really nice as well, that this card doesn't even have to be equipped or anything to make this live. You can just raw make this. It could even get ashed on that first effect, and you can still just attack into something and deal your opponent pretty big damage. That's really nice. And third effect, if this card attacks at the end of the damage step, you can detach a material for this card. It can make it another attack in a row. Holy, that's actually crazy. So sticking with the classic mechanic of this deck, now by making this card, like I said, you could get negated on the first effect. And if your opponent has like a, let's just say a solid body, 2,500 defense, let's say it's in defense mode, you can just go attack, deal your opponent 25, attack again, deal your opponent another 25. That's crazy. Man, okay, and do your opponent 5,000 off of that. If it's a 3K body, 6,000, and then you just have to find that last little poke for damage, because all of the other monsters, once they get equipped, even the main deck ones, aside from the new one, they basically do the same thing. Attack into something, deal your opponent the damage. So your opponent like cannot afford to put a bigger body on field. That's cool. All right, that really helps you achieve your win con pretty nicely. Okay, that's cool. That's two pretty good cards. I actually think the Exceed is overall more impressive to me than the new monster. And lastly, we have one more spell. This is actually a normal spell. This is not an equip spell like I was kind of expecting. This is Mikanko Divine Dance Futa Hashira no Uzo no Miko. Probably gonna work on that name. Need to shorten that up. Normal spell. You can only use one of the first and second effects once per turn, and only once that turn. So you cannot use both in the same turn. Hopefully that means they are both strong as hell. The first one reads: you cannot special summon from the extra for the rest of this turn after this card resolved, except Mikanko. Fine. Also, send one Mikanko card from your deck to the graveyard, except for this. Another copy of itself. Then you can set one Mikanko spell or trap from your deck. Okay. Okay, sure. Send and set. This card cannot be Ash Blossomed. It cannot be Dominus Purged. You get to Foolish a Mikanko card, which, by the way, they do have really good targets to Foolish to Grave. There's the one that, like, just is an equip spell, and, like, in grave, it can just reborn another Mikanko. I think there's another one that just has a good graveyard effect that gets you an additional Foolish Burial if you want, which I guess you wouldn't want to send with this card because it's kind of redundant. But, yeah, there are good send targets. Getting what's the other one in grave where like if you can quick effect equip it from grave, it then becomes like a Snatch Steal. There are multiple solid targets for this, and then it sets a Mikanko spell or trap. This deck has no quick play spells, so if you're setting any of the equip spells, they can immediately be activated. There is no restriction on this for those, so that's really really good. That's so good. All right, second effect. So keep in mind you can't use both in the same turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard and detach one material from your monsters. Wow, you can attach an XYZ material from any monster, even if you don't make the new Exceed. Then special summon a Mikanko ritual monster from your hand or deck. Are you allowed to do that? Is there supposed to be some clause there that says like this counts as a ritual summon? Can you just summon out a ritual like that? Is there some is like the rule that like you can do that, but then it doesn't count as being like officially ritual summoned initially, so you can't just like summon it back from that point. You can get it out, but like if it gets removed and you try to get it again, it's not officially been ritual summoned. I'm curious on that, but that's still good. Just getting to what's her name? The Otahime, I think, is the main ritual that you're using. Is honestly solid. So I'm not even mad about that. As follow-up, that's like a pretty good follow-up effect as well. I'm not even mad about that. Is it as good as it could have been? No, I think like having to establish the Exceed to detach from with that second effect is like a little bit annoying, but I'm not complaining. The first effect is so good that if this is just like the follow-up effect is a little bit, you have to set it up, I'm not going to cry about it. That's still a pretty decent follow-up effect considering the first effect is the main effect you're using like every time. That's so good, dude. A foolish and a search basically, and you can just choose to get a trap if you want if you just didn't end on a trap already. These are good cards, man. I now listen, it's Mikanko, so it is hard to judge at this point. I have trouble judging it to this point, and really like having a strong feeling on whether this is good enough, whether it's not good enough. I don't know. Is it enough? Can the deck play going first at all? If not, do we still have to play this as a hard going second deck with board breakers and stuff like that? I don't know. At least with Mulcharmies, hard like opting second is now better than ever before, so we're not too mad about that. But I'm very curious. I'm actually very curious on people's opinions. Listen, I've never played this deck thoroughly. I've messed around with it a little bit back when it was actually playable, but not like super in depth. So if you are a legit player of this deck, let me know your thoughts down below on this stuff. Does this stuff get them there, or do they need some non-generics or some non-archetypal stuff, some generic stuff to maybe like give them one last little push in the right direction, which we are still at this point holding out hope for that this set has, but we'll see. I think the Exceed seems crazy. If it was a generic rank 3, it'd be like absolutely crazy, but they wouldn't be able to do that if it searched any equip spell in the game, that just would be too broken, I think. But there's a lot of potential here. And also, I didn't even mention this. They have a new artwork. They're doing an alt art for Hu Li, which is really cool. I think a lot of people will like this Hu Li artwork. So that's like icing on the cake there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I really have no idea. Let me know if you think this is really good or not or whatever. I'm very curious because Mikanko is such an individually different deck than so many other strategies in the game that sometimes it's hard to judge decks like that on where they stand. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comments. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, stay tuned for more news videos and other Yu-Gi-Oh content down the line. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.